If you want to do easy nail art that's inspired by something, then this one's going to be for you. What's up, nail crew? It's Nicole, your fellow nail obsessed DIYer. Today, we are doing some nails inspired by that gorgeous picture at the beginning. It is part of the Pantone Color of the Year. That picture was actually inspiration from Spoonflower. It's Pantone's partnership with them for the Color of the Year Peach Fuzz. And as soon as I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to try to recreate this on my nails. I specifically went out and got the stamping plate that you saw me show in the beginning. It's from Clear Jelly Stamper. And I knew with all these like cool lines and stuff, I could find some gorgeous peach colors and then do some takes on that with how to like add whites and like the, pinks and purples that they also added to that. So that was my inspiration. And I'm so excited to share this with you guys. So of course we have to start with a gorgeous peach color. The peach is called What If I Want to Fly, and it is from OG Dip Powder. It's a stunning peach that's a flat as well. So I thought I'm going to do that on 3 nails and then do my 2 accent nails with this like purpley pinky color that I'm going to do next. That one is called Why Don't You Tell Me You Were Some Kind of Alaskan Kennedy. If you watch movies, you know that OG loves to name the colors after movie collection. So one is from the peach color is from a Bridgerton collection, Inspired collection, and then the other one is from the Proposal Inspired Colors, the movie. So I wanted to do 2 dips of the peach since I have short nails and I already have builder gel down. I actually have rubber base down on my nails right now. I already have my apex built with the rubber base. So I just need to do 2 dips of the peach and then 2 dips of like the purpley pink that I'm gonna do next. If you're somebody who doesn't like to use rubber base or can't use gels, you absolutely can build an apex with your dip powders. You basically just take each dip. The first one starts as a strip down your nail and it's only about halfway towards the cuticle, and then you just keep like each layer builds back towards the cuticle more so that your cuticles aren't thick and you get that nice beautiful C curve, which is the apex. And your apex should be located at the point of your nail where if you press down on it, it would like show a little bit of white. So if you brush down on your natural nail, like at the tip, it would show a little bit of white where you want your apex to be. So typically that makes a lot more sense if you're using a rubber base or builder gel first. And if you're using dips to build it, you can start with 2 to 3 layers of clear dip powder and then do your 2 color and then finish with clear. So anytime I'm using dip liquids, I like to finish with a layer of clear dip powder. That just really seals the color in. It like gets into all the little nooks and crannies. My favorite word, as somebody reminded me recently that I love saying that. But when you top with clear dip powder as your last dip, it really does get into all the little grooves, the nooks and crannies, and then it protects your color or your flakes, your foils, your glitters, whatever you're doing. It protects them when you go to buff and shape so that you don't mess with your color. You don't accidentally turn glitters a weird silver color if you over buff. So that is why I always go with clear dip powder as my last dip. Once you've been doing your nails for a while and you start to get into a good rhythm, a good groove, and you figure out what works for you, it's very hard to want to get out of that rhythm. So for me, that means always doing a clear dip powder as my last layer. I am so used to it. It almost would feel like my nails are naked if I didn't do that as my last layer. Something else that I got into the habit of doing, and I think you should too, is tracing around your cuticles with some kind of a pointy cleanup tool like the one that I'm using. You can use a toothpick, an orange wood stick, or like an actual metal one like the one that I'm using. If you trace around your cuticles after each dip that's right near them, then you're not going to get the dip powder or the dip base stuck on your cuticles, and you're going to get that nicer cuticle line. So like this is where we start getting our nice cuticle lines. Part of it is when you're applying the dip powder, you want to make sure you apply it thinly and evenly and not flood your cuticles. And then if you do get a little bit in your cuticles, you trace around with that pointy tool. Now, I trace around after every single dip just to make sure that I don't have anything stuck there, because then that's less work when you're buffing and shaping and filing if you trace around right from the start. Then you want to apply your last layer of clear dip powder. So this is what we were talking about earlier. This is sealing in your dip color, whatever kind of color you're using. So in these ones, I'm just using a flat solid color. And I know a lot of people don't use clear as their last dip, but for me, it's just really worked so nicely to seal that color in. So when I buff and shape, that I'm not touching my color and getting anything to look like a little bit wonky and like accidentally filing into the color too much. My clear is a little bit dirty still. Somehow I got my solid clear. I don't even know. I got like stuff in my solid clear. So I just dipped my nails in because I know I need to clean it. And my glitter clear is super, super messy. We're not even going to talk about that one, but luckily I didn't have to use it on this hand. Once you're done with your clear, you want to make sure you brush off your excess powder really, really well once your nail is dried. It's going to keep them from getting big and thick and bulky. Then you go through and you apply your activator, and then you can buff and shape and file once it's all hardened. Now we're gonna get into the fun part. This is where I did the Pantone inspired look. I wiped all my nails with isopropyl alcohol after I was done buffing and shaping so that I was ready to jump into the stamping. Then you want to apply a layer of sticky base down over your entire nail. And I use Maniology sticky base. It works really well for me. This stamping plate called Funky Swirls from Clear Jelly Stamper is the one that I got just to do a mani inspired by that Pantone inspo pic I showed you at the beginning. And the three colors that I'm using for the stamping are Bam White, Citrine, and Lilac Mist. Those three colors are all from Maniology. So I decided just to pick a couple cute designs from the plate. I decided to do the designs on every single nail, and this is the first time that I have ever done stamping on all 5 nails. So I'm going to show you some of the mistakes that I made and what I did wrong, because I had a little bit of trouble doing the stars on my ring finger. I don't know why. The stars were not hard to pick up. I don't know, like sometimes when I'm stamping, my fingers just do not do the right thing. Okay, like I don't even know what they're doing. They just do the wrong thing, or like I'll pick up the wrong colors. So I picked up the wrong colors a couple times. I kept applying the citrine on it when really I wanted to use the lilac mist and just the Bam White since I was doing it on my peach nails. It took a couple tries. I swear I did the stars like 10 times before I got them right. I don't know why, okay? Like I said, sometimes my hands just like do their own thing when I'm stamping. Actually, my hands do that like all the time. Then you saw me, like I dropped the stamper after I had picked it up really nicely and I messed up the stamp. So all kinds of things can go wrong when you're stamping. I didn't stamp fast enough a couple times. I just don't know what was going on. I just kept not doing it right. And then I finally picked it up correctly, applied it onto my nail correctly, and I was like, okay, we are done with the ring finger. I don't know why the ring finger took me so much longer to do than all of my other nails. The other nails went pretty well. The nice thing about doing little designs like this is you can take your time. So once you apply your sticky base, even if it dries, it's okay as long as your stamping polish you don't let dry, you'll still be able to apply it to your nails. If you had let your stamping polish on your stamper dry too, and then you're trying to apply it to your nails, that's when it won't pick up. So if your sticky base is dry, don't worry. Just make sure that you get your stamped image on as quickly as possible while it's still a little bit wet and it has something to adhere to. So when you're doing a reverse stamp, that's when your entire stamp has to dry and then your sticky base needs to be tacky so that the image can go onto it. If you're just doing like these little small images like this and just combining a bunch of them like I was, then you just need your sticky stamping polish to still be wet when you apply it to your nails. Those are some easy things you can do. And like if you really are struggling with nail art, stamping is so awesome to do. I have to admit, it took me a really long time to pick up stamping. I gave up for a solid year until a friend of mine, a nail friend who is amazing at stamping, she gave me all of her tips and tricks. So now I like to share those with all of you. And I just kept going through this plate and picking up different images that I thought looked cute together. And since the whole like inspo pic was, you know, like funky lines and little like dots and stuff like that, this plate was absolutely perfect for it, and I just went with it. Different designs on each hand. I wanted it to look like very fun, abstract, and I added like little touches. So, you know, the one part that I messed up my stamp on my middle finger, I just went in and added a little star to the side because then you couldn't see where I accidentally messed up and missed picking up part of the stamp. That is the great thing about stamping. So one, If you mess up, it's okay. You can just wipe it off and redo it. You can use your lint roller and just roll it off before you even put it onto your nail if you're not super particular. So if you're somebody who's super particular, it might take you a long time to stamp, but I am not super particular about things. So you can see I'm just like applying the stamps all over the place, just picking like, oh, this looks fun. Let me add this. And I wanted on my thumb, I was like, yes, I have to like slip some little animal print looking designs in there. Actually, my thumb ended up being my favorite finger that I did out of all 5 of them. My thumb and my pointer, those were my 2 favorites. On my pinky, I accidentally covered it a little bit more than I would have liked, so you really couldn't tell that there was a purple under it. That's okay. I just went with it. I wasn't going to redo my nails because I really liked all the different designs, even though you couldn't really see the purple on my pinky. Once all the images are stamped onto your nails, you want to let that dry for a few minutes and then go in with a smudge-free top coat. I'm using the one from Maniology, the one I've been using for, probably like 3.5 years now, and it just works really well for me. If you have any other suggestions for ones that you like, I am always open to trying new products. Make sure you leave me comments anytime you want me to try a new product. And I decided to go through with all of my nails and just do the smudge-free top coat, go over it with the Seche Vite Fast Dry top coat. I did not feel like using dip liquid since I had done stamping on every single nail. Had I wanted to go through with dip liquids, I could have gone through and not done the clear and just stamped right at the end, and then done my clear to top coat it. Once I put my smudge free top coat over, you can actually top with clear, but this one I thought I'm just gonna go through and use nail polish to do all of my top coating. It works really well over dip liquid, surprisingly, but it's also really awesome if you can't use gels. Now, if you're really struggling with your dip manis and you're like, I am not ready to stamp, make sure you check out the first pinned comment. It has a link to my Dip Nails 101, the ultimate guide to dipping your nails at home. Check out my next video if you are ready for more stamping. Thanks for joining me today, Nail Crew.